Hi, everyone. Welcome back to our podcast. I'm Linda.
And I'm Leo. We're so glad you're here with us today. In this episode, we're going to talk about something very special to all of us, family.
That's right, Leo. Family is a big part of everyone's life, no matter where you're from. But what does family mean? Why is it so important? And how can talking about family help you improve your English?
Good questions, Linda. Let's start by thinking about what family means. A family can be different things for different people. For some, it's the people you live with, like your parents, brothers, and sisters. For others, it's a bigger group, including grandparents, aunts, uncles, and cousins.
Yes, family can be big or small. And sometimes, family isn't just about people you're related to by blood. It can also include close friends or people who have been there for you, like family.
Exactly. In English, we often talk about the nuclear family. This usually means the parents and their children. But there's also the extended family, which includes all the other relatives like grandparents, aunts, uncles, and cousins.
That's a good point, Leo. The nuclear family is like the core, and the extended family is like the branches of a tree, all connected but spreading out in different directions.
I like that image, Linda. It really shows how connected families are, even when they live far apart. Now, let's talk a little about why family is so important.
Family is often the first place where we learn about love, support, and trust. It's where we first learn to communicate and interact with others. This is why family is so special. They are the people who know us the best and who are there for us in good times and bad.
And family traditions can also be a big part of our lives. These are the things we do together as a family, like celebrating holidays, having special meals, or even simple things like watching a movie together every Friday night.
Yes, traditions help to keep the family close and create a sense of belonging. They're like little pieces of history that we carry with us and pass on to the next generation.
Speaking of history, families often have interesting stories to tell. These stories can be about how your grandparents met, funny things that happened when your parents were young, or even stories about your childhood.
That's true, Leo. Family stories are like a treasure chest of memories. And when we share these stories, we keep them alive and help younger family members feel connected to their roots.
So, talking about your family can be a great way to practice English. You can describe your family members, talk about your favorite family traditions, or even share a family story. This helps you to practice using different words and tenses.
Absolutely. For example, when you describe a family member, you might say, "My brother is tall and has brown hair. He likes to play football." This helps you practice adjectives, nouns, and verbs all in one sentence.
And when you talk about a tradition, you can use the present simple tense, like, "Every Sunday my family has dinner together." It's a great way to practice talking about habits or routines.
That's right. Now, let's think about some common questions people ask about families. For example, how many people are in your family? Or do you have any brothers or sisters?
Those are great questions, Linda. They help us to learn more about each other's lives. And when you answer, you can use simple sentences like, "I have one sister," or "There are 5 people in my family."
And don't forget about using possessives. This is important when talking about family. For example, "This is my mother," or "That's my brother's car." It helps to show who something belongs to.
Yes, possessives are really useful, and here's another tip. When you talk about family members, try to add a little more detail. Instead of just saying, "My father," you could say, "My father, who is a doctor, loves to read books." This helps to make your English more interesting and natural.
That's a great tip, Leo. Adding details makes your conversation more engaging. It's also a good way to practice using relative clauses, which are sentences that give more information about someone or something. For example, "My grandmother, who lives in the countryside, makes the best cookies."
Exactly, and as you talk more about your family, you'll get more comfortable using different grammar points and vocabulary. Plus, it's a topic that's personal and meaningful, so it's easier to stay motivated and interested.
Speaking of motivation, it's also important to remember that every family is different. There's no right or wrong way to have a family. Some people have big families, some have small ones. Some people live close to their families, and others live far away. What's important is how you feel about your family and the connections you have with them.
That's true, Linda. Family is about the love and support we give and receive. And learning to talk about family in English is a way to share that love and those connections with others.
So, if you're listening to this podcast and thinking about your own family, take a moment to think about how you would describe them in English. What do you love most about your family? What are some of your favorite family traditions?
And if you can, try to practice talking about your family with a friend or even by yourself. The more you practice, the better you'll get at expressing these important ideas in English.
That's a great idea, Leo. And remember, it's okay to make mistakes. The important thing is to keep practicing and keep trying. Family is a wonderful topic to talk about because it's something we all have in common, even if our families look different.
We'll take a quick look at how different cultures view family and introduce some new vocabulary.
Let's start with cultural views. In some cultures, the family is the center of everything. People often live close to their relatives and see them every day. In other cultures, people might live far away from their families and visit them only on special occasions.
That's right, Linda. For example, in many Asian cultures, it's common for several generations to live together under one roof. Grandparents, parents, and children all share the same home. This creates a strong bond between family members.
On the other hand, in Western cultures, it's more common for young adults to move out of their parents' house and live on their own. This doesn't mean they're less connected. They just show their love and support in different ways.
Exactly. Now, let's talk about some family-related vocabulary. Words like siblings refer to your brothers and sisters. In-laws are the family members you gain when you get married, like your spouse's parents or siblings.
And don't forget ancestors. These are the people in your family who lived long before you, like your great-grandparents. Understanding these words can help you talk about your family in more detail.
That's a good point, Linda. Family is a universal topic, and the more you learn, the easier it will be to connect with others.
So, as we wrap up our podcast on family, remember to think about the unique aspects of your own family and how you can describe them in English.
Thanks for joining us. Keep practicing, and remember, your family is a big part of your story. Share that story with the world.
See you next time.
Bye for now.